Hi, everybody. I'm Dr. Isaac Halliday with Lodestar Physical Therapy. I'm here with Ethan Nelson. He is a business development liaison with the Advocates Injury Attorneys. Super awesome dude. And he's here. He's here now. So,
Yep.
yeah, tell us a little bit about yourself, Ethan. So glad you've made it on. So,
Yeah, I'm here virtually, and yeah, I appreciate you having me on, Dr. Holliday. We've worked
yeah,
together for what, 2.5 years now, and yeah, me and York love working with your clinic. You're a great
awesome.
PT. But yeah, so my name's Ethan. Yeah, I do business development for the Advocates Injury Attorneys. I've been doing it for about 3 years. Cover Salt Lake, parts of California, Vegas. A little bit about me. Grew up in Kaysville, Utah. Um, A lot of people think it's a farm town, but really it's kind of like a mini Draper. But it was fun growing up there. Went on an LDS mission to Georgia. I speak Spanish as well. So went to a place called Macon, Georgia, which not a lot of people know about. It's kind of in the middle of Georgia. But anyway, went to school, studied marketing and small business management at LDS Business College. Loved that. Um, and yeah, I a little bit about me. I love going to the gym. I love kind of health and wellness. So connecting with guys like you and chiropractors
Yeah,
and other providers, really fun and fulfilling for me. But yeah, that's a little bit
cool.
about me. So
Right on. I
right
love
on.
it. I love it. So what is I don't know, like when you hear business a business development liaison. Like
Yeah,
what does your role actually include, or like what do you do for the advocate?
yeah. So to be honest, I think the fact that we have get so it's not just me. We have a guy named Elias Sanchez up in Ogden area, and then another guy down south, Moises Andrade. In my opinion, having guys like us really separate us from other law firms in the fact that we're such a big firm. Our attorneys are very focused on the client, help making sure they get into treatment, communicating with them, um, chatting with the biggest thing is probably chatting with adjusters and trying to get as much money as possible for our clients and ensuring that the bills get paid, et cetera. And so, um, and so the attorneys don't really have the bandwidth of the time to go find new providers, manage our current relationships, and just do all of that. And so really it's my role to go out, chat with guys like you, find good providers that work well with our firm that we can send our clients to it, and as well um, uh, get clients referred to us as well, obviously. Um, but yeah, to my understanding, in the law firm world, a lot of the other law firms, including us, didn't really have a business development representative 15, 20 years ago. We
Mhm.
had a guy named Kaysen. I don't know if you ever met him. He kind of started this back then. And yeah, anyway, it's fun. I like
Cool.
it a lot. Really, it's just to be the bridge between clinics like yours, like Lodestar, and our firm, and just whether it be reductions or patients not showing up to appointments, whatever, I'm here for it. So
Yeah, that's
hopefully
cool.
that answers your question.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. Which explains why you're in your car. You
Yeah,
just
I
drive
apologize
around
for
drive around visiting people all the time. No, it's good.
yeah,
I'm
I
glad you're
apologize
able
for
to.
the informal setting, but
Hey, you're good, man. That's all good. All right, we
yeah,
take you where you're at. So that's awesome. Um, yeah, that's cool. Um, tell us a little bit about the advocates, because I think most people have like heard,
yeah,
who they are, or seen the commercial on TV or
uh-huh,
whatever. Tell us a little bit about the advocates, like what sets them apart. I mean, I've talked to like smaller and injury attorney clinics, or not clinics. What do you guys call law firms?
firms, yeah.
Right. And the advocates is like bigger. Like just I don't know what's the takeaway from like the advocates.
Yeah.
Um, yeah. Like what do
So
you do that? Yeah.
I'd say a couple things. It's been interesting. Like I said, I'm here in Utah. I'm in Salt Lake County, which is arguably our busiest county in the whole firm. It's interesting going from Utah to places like California and Vegas where we're a small fish, we're like
Mm,
these other law firms here in Utah where, you kind of have to start from the bottom and find those relationships um and yeah, market that way. And so I've seen both sides of the coin, but for to answer your question, a lot of the time, not just in the law profession and even with clinics, but businesses in general, once you get to a certain, um, once you get big enough, I feel like sometimes that personal touch kind of goes away. What I've noticed with the advocates, all of our attorneys, is they still, like, as cliche as it sounds, when I sign clients up, I can tell our attorneys, Mark Stewart, Dave Tolis, Chris Thresher, all of them, they still care about the client. They're not just,
Yeah.
you know, saying one thing on commercials, then doing something other.
Hmm.
Um, if they need to, they're willing to reduce their fee, which is huge. They're willing to work with providers like you guys. And to be
Yeah.
honest, I'd say that's one thing. Like I talked about, we were kind of one of the first firms to really start working with chiropractors, PTs, and referring cases back and forth. Um, that's one thing, to be honest with you, Isaac,
Yeah.
that separates us is our willingness to continue to do that and just be very Cairo provider friendly. Because there's some law
Yeah.
firms out there that just, kind of churn and burn cases and call
Mhm.
call a provider, hey, 90% reduction just to make as much money as possible. But
Yeah.
really,
Yeah.
we're about those relationships. So,
Yeah.
um, so yeah, that's what kind of separates us. A little history of the Advocates. Matt Drake started it in the mid 90s. Um, they actually, it's interesting. Do you know what fen is
No, no.
or was? So it was a weight loss drug, similar to,
Oh,
it was
okay.
supposed to do um, what's the one nowadays called Ozempic.
Oh, yeah.
It was a big one back in the early 2000s. Anyway, there was a lot of adverse side effects, and there were a ton of lawsuits, and we signed up a ton of those cases and made a ton of money back in the day.
Hmm.
And so that's kind of how Matt, Steve Day, and Eric Bills started. Is they did all that and then decided to focus on auto accidents. So yeah, we're from Utah. All the founders are from Utah, and I think we're in 16 or 17 states right now. We just opened Oklahoma, so it's a great firm to work for
Yeah.
and be a part of. It's a great culture. So
That's cool. Yeah. Yeah. And to go along the lines of like how like your attorneys, like they're actively involved like in the cases, like I
hmm
like York, for example, he's like, just email me all this stuff and I'll make sure it gets to the right people, right?
hmm
It seems like all the other attorneys I've worked with, they're like, oh yeah, just send that to the paralegal, and then they
yeah,
give me, and so it's like the hands-on aspect that at least that York does, in the advocates is really cool. And, I
yeah,
haven't seen it too much in any other firms to where the lawyer usually lets the paralegals just kind of like handle it.
exactly. Yeah.
To where York, I mean, he calls me, he's like, hey man, here's the deal with this case, and
hmm
right, and it's kind of cool to be able to just talk directly to the attorney, the guy that is the guy that has to sign off on everything, right?
Yeah. Yeah. York's awesome. Yeah.
So
All of our attorneys are great. York's awesome. And yeah, like I
that's
said, all
cool.
the attorneys recognize the importance of our medical provider relationships, whether it's with pain doctors, PTs like you, or chiropractors.
Mhm.
So,
Yeah, no, I love it. That's cool. Um, Tell us a little bit about like some misconceptions people have, particularly with auto accident, right? Because that's kind of
yeah.
where you guys kind of focus.
hmm
Um, yeah, tell us about some of those misconceptions that you've heard or you've seen.
Yeah. So there's two that come to mind. One is that, and this happens a lot in Utah, where people think, oh, I'm suing an individual. Like, say, Isaac, you hit me, you rear-end me. A lot of the time, people would think if I hire an attorney like the advocates, I would be going after you personally, like your house, your assets, business,
Mhm.
etc. 99% of the time, we don't do that. There's only been like a couple cases where we have that I'm aware of. But yeah, really, we go after insurance policies. And if the policies aren't sufficient, we're not one of those firms where we are scared to take your case to litigation. We'll take your case to litigation and fight it for however long we need to. Um, and our litigation attorneys like Tyler Call, Michael Driggs, they're awesome in the courtroom and great dudes. So that's the first one. We just go after the at-fault insurance company, and if there is an insurance, there's UIM, UM policies we can go after on your own insurance policy. But so that's the first one. The second one is that a lot of the time people think that, oh, when I'm in an accident, um, if I'm not feeling immediate pain, like that means nothing. Yeah, and I'm sure you as you, yeah,
100%.
you
Yeah.
read it all the time, and the problem is, and I actually had two cases referred to me by providers a couple weeks ago where this will kind of paint the picture. We'll call first person Jane Doe. She was in an accident June 28th. Wasn't feeling like a ton of pain June 29th. The at-fault insurance company contacted her, sent her what's called a release of all future claims
hmm
sheet letter, whatever, and was like, here's $1,000. We'll pay $3,000 worth of your medical bills. Just sign here. Jane Doe didn't know what she was signing,
Yeah.
signed it, and was referred to me middle of July. Her feet were tingling constantly, her back was in pain, and she's like, "What do I do?" And unfortunately, she had just signed that
Signed it.
document.
Yeah.
And so I think that's another misconception people have is that, you know, if the property damage wasn't like super bad,
hmm
I'm not super injured. What we say is, I mean, our whole lives we spend two, three, four, if not more, $100 a month on insurance, auto insurance premiums. You might as well get checked out. You might as well like keep the auto
Yeah.
insurance company at bay while you get checked out, while you talk to us. Because as a PT, I'm sure you've seen this all the time. Like someone comes in 6 months after an accident and something's weird, maybe with their neck or their back, and you're like, well, were you in an accident? And they're like, oh yeah, like 6 months ago. And you're like, yep,
Yeah.
that's what it is, right?
hmm Yeah.
So that's the biggest thing. And I don't know if you can speak to that too. I'm sure you've seen that as a
Oh,
provider, a lot of
all the
cases like
time.
that.
Yeah. In fact, like we just got one. In fact, I think you guys just referred a
Yeah.
guy. It's similar thing, right? He initially complained of like his hip and ankle hurting, um, and he came in and he's like, my back is like killing me. I was like, when did that start? He's like, oh, about 2 weeks ago, right? Accident was like a month ago. 2 weeks ago, back started hurting, right? Where he's
Mhm.
like, he's like, I don't know where it came from. Like, well, it probably came from the accident because
Yeah.
it's just a delayed thing, right? Your
Hmm.
body's gonna scream loudest where it hurts. After the
Hmm.
dust settles, the real injuries really show up, and
Yeah.
that's kind of where he's at. And I know I've seen it also with other patients to where they come in and like a shoulder or whatever, and you're like, well, when did this start? They're like, oh, well, I was in a car accident about 18 months ago,
Yeah.
and it felt okay. Did a couple rehab things, and it was okay.
Hmm.
But they didn't get rehabbed well enough, or they didn't, right? It wasn't a very cohesive
Yeah.
plan after the accident that,
Yeah.
like, and then they always ask, they're like, well, can we do something? Like, can we go get, more PIP or something? Like, it's done. Like, it's over.
Yeah,
Like, that
exactly.
case has
Yeah.
been closed. I can't reopen it
That's
now. And it's
that's why I tell
unfortunate. Yeah.
people That's why I tell people retaining us as soon as possible never hurts you. If you don't have a case,
Yeah.
we'll just drop your case and you don't owe us anything. But in that specific case that you were talking about, if the person was still with us, their case would be open. The statute of limitations for filing a lawsuit after an auto accident in Utah is 4 years. And so, I mean, yeah,
Yeah.
you can retain us at any time. But the problem is the insurance company knows that, and so they try to get you to settle as quick as possible.
Yeah.
But
And sign those forms
yeah,
that say, oh, hey, look, you're good.
exactly.
Cool. Sign this form. Says you're
Well, and
good.
it sucks too because the patient, I mean, ultimately, like what you probably had to tell that person was like, I mean, yeah, I can treat you, but it's coming out of your own pocket,
hmm
and it sucks for them because I mean, they
Yeah.
were in an accident that wasn't their fault, so they shouldn't have to deal with the consequences of that. So,
Right. Yeah. Yep.
but
Or even like it doesn't get, they're hurt, but it's like, oh, it's not that bad. And then something else happens later, right? Like
hmm
shoulder for example, like, hey, cool, shoulder feels great, doing pretty much everything. And then they start lifting weights or they start doing something, and that's what sets off everything.
yeah,
Now the insurance company is just gonna say, oh no, it was the weights that did it, not the car accident,
hmm
right? And
Well, and what's cool too with working with providers like you and other chiropractors is you understand that, and so
Mhm.
when you see someone that's been in an auto accident, you'll um, proportion that pain to the accident and then other pain they might have, which is very important when we're trying to settle a case.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. 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 So it's just contact the attorneys. Like
yeah, and it doesn't
it's
cost them
it
anything to
doesn't
chat
cost
with
a penny to
us.
give a little consult,
Yeah.
right? It's just like, hey, is this worth anything?
Mhm.
And so yeah. Um, tell us about, like, have you been in an accident? Like what
Yeah.
is
Yeah, I was.
yeah.
So I actually have a story of, I don't mean to be like a stereotypical guy who works for a law firm that says, oh, these big bad insurance companies are bad, but I have a story about that just to kind of paint a picture of like be careful of insurance companies and be careful of who you sign up with. I had a policy about 2 years ago. It was actually a friend referred me to this agent. I won't say what insurance agency, but it's one of the big ones. Anyway, I got a policy with them. I had just bought this Tesla that I'm in. And and the guy, or yeah, so I had the policy for like 4 or 5 months, or excuse me, 4 or 5 months. And because I had been referred by a friend to this agency,
Mhm.
the agent was like, "Oh, hey, I'll give you deals like $200 a month or whatever." And so I'm like, "Awesome." And
Yeah.
so on the app, every month it would say a lot more than actually was, and I'd be like, "Hey, like, what's up? Like, it's not reflecting what we talked about." And
Yeah.
he was like, "Oh, hey, yeah, like, I don't." He's like, "Don't listen to the app. Like, just send me the money, whatever." And I trusted him because my friend,
Because yeah, he was referred. Yeah.
he was an agent of one of these big firms. Anyway, so I'm dirt biking with my family August of 2024. I'm driving back in my car and I hit a deer.
Mhm.
And I pull open the app and it said I didn't have any insurance. Yeah.
No.
So I was literally so stressed. Luckily I wasn't injured. But the property damage ended up being $10,000. Come to find out, this specific agent was just selling fraudulent policies to people. Um, and I
What?
tried to contact him. He wasn't contacting me back. Luckily, though, the insurance company kind of recognized what happened and paid out on the claim. But it's kind of just a story of like, hey, like, just kind of be careful,
Yeah.
um, not just with insurance companies, but I guess like whoever, um,
Making
and just
making
like
sure that you yeah, making sure that you actually have the coverage.
yeah,
Like,
yeah, exactly, yeah. Yeah, so, and another thing I wanted to mention is, yeah, in this specific accident, I wasn't injured, but in the state of Utah, we have what's called PIP. You referenced it
Mhm.
earlier. Whether it's your fault or not your fault, um, you get $3,000 worth of coverage, which, I mean, it's not like a crazy amount, but for a lot of people, it'll get them in imaging to kind of let them know, okay, like what's wrong with my neck, my back, and
Mhm.
at least a couple chiropractic or PT visits. So that's just a lot of people don't know that, even when they
Yeah.
are in accidents, unless like an attorney tells them, it's just not really widely known. And so, and you can bump up your PIP for
Oh
like
yeah.
a couple extra
Yeah.
dollars a month, and it goes up to 5, 10,000, which we highly
hmm
recommend. But yeah, even if you were in an accident, it wasn't your fault, or it was your fault, you should get um that PIP coverage. So
Yeah. Yeah. And like you said, I think the minimum I think is 3,000, right?
yeah, yeah,
For minimal
in
coverage.
Utah.
Yeah, I
Hmm.
highly recommend just paying the extra, what, 10, $20 a month for
Yeah, for
five or
sure.
$10,000 PIP. Because
Hmm.
it goes, if you get in that accident, it's gonna make your life just easier,
Oh
less
yeah.
stressful.
Sure. And the
For
idea, I
sure.
mean, it doesn't always happen, and that's part of the reason, it's advantageous for clients to use us. But um, the whole point of PIP is they pay it with no questions asked. Like
hmm
it's your personal injury protection. So if it's 10,000, they should. If you need that amount of coverage, they should pay it, no questions asked. They are fighting on it. We can help out with that. So
Yeah. Yeah, especially if, I mean, if they're definitely fighting on that, like that's where you guys are gonna be like, yeah, no,
yeah,
they're owed that money, and they'll listen to you guys.
exactly. Yeah.
So
So,
yeah, well, very cool. What else, man? What else do we want to highlight about what you do and what the advocates do? Is there anything that you're like, this needs to get
um,
out there?
Yeah, I'd say so. Yeah, obviously, if you live in Utah, there's a lot of different law firms on I-15 when you're driving through. Not to beat a dead horse, but I'd say the biggest thing that separates us is, you get signed on and you're talking to an actual attorney. It's not the case manager constantly calling you, constantly reaching out. It's the attorney, which a lot of people really love. They like chatting with an attorney, they like meeting with an attorney, and so I'd say that's the biggest thing. We also help people out with property damage, which is a pretty big thing. Um, and yeah, really just being able to have a wide network of different medical providers to refer to is very advantageous for our
Yeah.
clients as well, because we'll be needing the providers to treat on a lien, and some providers don't want to do that. And so with
Hmm.
us knowing so many that do, um, it's very advantageous for our clients. So I
Yeah.
would say those three things. But
Awesome. I love it. And how can someone get a hold of you or the advocates, or they're in an accident and they're like, who do I call?
yeah. So we're on social media, on Facebook and Instagram and TikTok. It's just the Advocates Injury Attorneys. If you are in an accident, you can always call me. My number is 801-664-0026, or you can text me. Um,
Or if you
or
just want to, or if you just want to go on a date with you, then you can call
exactly,
that number.
exactly. Um, and then yeah, then our website is just utahadvocates.com. So
Awesome. Hey,
yeah.
very good, man.
Yeah, thanks for
Cool.
having me on though. I really
Yeah,
appreciate
thanks.
it.
Thanks for coming on. And yeah, I'll let you get back to your day driving around. So
I appreciate it.
it
Thanks
was
so
awesome.
much.
Hey, right on, man. Take care.
All right. See ya.